Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey, what's going on? This is Crystal Taylor, the owner of Fitness is Not a Game, and you are here with me today on Fitness Friday, where we are going to talk about how nothing grows in the comfort zone. Staying in that comfort zone is causing a lot of problems for a lot of y'all, so let's talk about it. Before that, let's drink some water. If you're here with me now, say hey. If you're catching this on replay, type a replay in the chat. Let me know that you came back. But I want to have this conversation because I just did a retreat and I have an event coming up in October, right? Very different. Retreat is for relaxation. The event in October is not for relaxation. It's about pushing you outside of your limits, right? And I'm doing a program, the October intensive, because I know that way too many people don't push themselves as far as they could. Our bodies give out way before our minds do, right? No, I'm sorry, minds give out way before our bodies. And so another reason, like this weekend, well, this week, sorry, I'm just like, oh, my words. But this week, I noticed that I was feeling a little stronger. But here in my head, I kept telling myself, no, I shouldn't be able to do, I shouldn't be able to do, shouldn't be able to do. And I said, you know what? I feel like I can. So pushed it up, right? Pushed up my weight, pushed up my speed on my runs, my reps, all of that good stuff. And I had to tell myself, Crystal, you got to do it. Because if you keep doing, this is my message to you all. And I promise we're going to get into the lesson, but somebody needs to hear this. If you keep doing the same things, you're going to get the same results. And eventually your body's going to learn it so well that now you're going to start regressing. Let me know if anybody's noticed that. Too often people talk about, oh, I reached a plateau, and I start gaining weight again, da, 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 da. Typically it's because you're doing the same things over and over again because that's what's become comfortable. What comedian was that? Was like, because you make me feel comfortable. That's what a lot of y'all want to feel. But I'll tell you that this is the thing. When it comes to your workouts, your workout does not need to be excessively long anyway. 30, 45, maybe 60 minutes, right? You can be uncomfortable for that 2% to 4% of your entire day because 30 minutes is literally only 2% of the day. So pushing yourself outside of that comfort zone for that short amount of time, that small amount of time, can give you such huge results. We cannot keep doing the same things over and over again. You got to try new things, right? So when it comes to the comfort zone, it's sort of easy to fall. It's not sort of. It's very easy to fall in the comfort zone. Life be life. There are enough stressors out there. So when we can take the easy way out, a lot of times we'll take it. Yes or yes. And that's fine with some things, right? We love to hear work smarter, not harder in certain things. When it comes to your health and your fitness, you cannot just stay with what's comfortable. What are some things that are comfortable? Constantly just doing cardio, doing just going just I say just but going for walks, going to your same dance class, things where you don't have to think at all and it doesn't seem like it's too much of a challenge. What's also comfortable is going to the drive-through. What's comfortable is just buying all of these packaged meals that you can just throw in the microwave. All of those things are comfortable routines, but when you look at the end results, you're not even happy with them. You're not happy with them. And you know that the answer is to switch it up, to do something different. So instead of only doing this dance class, let me try a boot camp class every once in a while. Let me watch a video on the internet because there's so many of them. Let me try this strength training workout, right? Or let me pick up a new hobby, a new sport. I picked up swimming at 46. I think that's how old I was when I started. We got to get outside of our comfort zones because nothing's going to grow. If you're doing the same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing, you're the same person. But when you say, I would typically do this, I'm going to try that. Guess what? The more you try that, the more you excel at it, the more you master it. And now you need something else to try. Boom. Now I'm going to try this here. And you keep becoming this stronger person because you know what happens? Every time you try something, and you, especially when you're concerned about it, you're scared, and you actually do it, you know how that builds your confidence? That builds your confidence to try more things. And you keep on, then you carry yourself differently. Then you have a certain pride in yourself. Now you're more mindful because you have so much pride in yourself. Now you're more mindful of how frequently you move. You're mindful of what you're eating because you see, like, that was a struggle for me, but I did it. What else can I do? I'll tell y'all. So I take some swimming lessons on Wednesdays. And just this Wednesday, I started swim lessons last May. So here we are, 13 months in. And this week was the first time that I actually finally got my breathing right. Obviously, I've been breathing because I've been swimming, right? But what my coach had been saying to me, for some reason, it finally clicked the other day. Finally. And I was like, shut your mouth. But I had to get uncomfortable because what she was telling me to do didn't feel comfortable to me. And I said, you know what? Let me try. And I did it. And I told her after I finished my second lap, I was like, man, I wish y'all had video of me on my first day versus now. Because I'm a whole swimmer now. But last year, this time, and I took swim lessons because I was extremely uncomfortable in the water. Doggone, almost deathly afraid of the water. But I had to keep trying. I had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to jump in the deep end on the first day when they told me to. What? Ma'am, it's my first day. But I was not going to learn how to swim if I kept wading around and playing around in 4 feet of water when I'm 5'5". You see what I'm saying? You have to get out of that comfort zone. But it's so easy for us to be afraid. A lot of us stay, and if you can admit that you've stayed in your comfort zone a little too long, let me know in the chats. Let me know what you stayed comfortable with and why. Because a lot of people are afraid of change. Change can be uncomfortable. Change can sometimes be painful, right? But when you work through it, oh, it's so beautiful. Just like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. It's a struggle. It could be a struggle. It's a process. But the results are so doggone beautiful. But then there's this fear of failure. If I do something I'm not familiar with, what if I don't do it right? What if I can't do it? What if, what if, what if? But when we talk about mindset, how about we switch that what if? What if you did do it? What if you got it right? What if you became a swimmer? Or whatever else you want to try? But that's the thing, you have to at least try first. You got to make yourself uncomfortable. Say, you know what? I must do it scared, but I'm going to do it. I'm nervous, but I'm going to do it. I'm unsure, but I'm going to do it. Right? We got to get out of the comfort zone. But with that, you have to first address why you've been staying in that comfort zone. And can we have some hard truths? If y'all want the hard truth, hit me with a 100. And I'm going to say this just because it needs to be said. And there's no other way to say it. There's no soft way to say it. A lot of people, because we're talking about health and fitness, right? A lot of people are comfortable being fat and overweight and unhealthy. And when I say fat, that's not a judgment. That is literally scientific. You have way more body fat than you have muscle. More fat is on your body than muscle and bone. That's what I mean. Too many people are comfortable with being in that state because there's that fear of whatever that fear is, change, failure. Some people fear success, actually doing it right, because if they made the changes and they start seeing results, what are the expectations that are going to come with that? Do I have to be perfect? Do I have to eat a clean diet all the time? Do I have to exercise 7 days a week? What? But there's people are uncomfortable. I mean, they're comfortable being unhealthy. They're comfortable with a doggone diagnosis that could have been prevented. They're comfortable with it. But sometimes they're comfortable with that because they don't know how to live on the other side because maybe they've never been taught. And that in itself is scary. But even when, I'm going to say this, when you're scared to do something, that's when you need to do it. That's when you need to do it. I'm scared to find out. I'm scared to find out. That's when you look, the internet's amazing. You can do research and nobody knows it. You can start looking for help and nobody knows it. You can say, you know what? I always do dance class, but I want to try Pilates. Oh, I want to try some type of strength training. Guess what? You can use the internet and try it in your own home. You're uncomfortable, but at least you're there and you're trying and you get to do it in privacy. But before then, you got to address what's keeping you in this comfort zone. What is it? What is it? So I'll say this. One thing I definitely want you to do, if you've noticed, let me ask you, how many of you, hey, how how many of you have noticed that you've hit a plateau? You haven't made any changes in a while. Good afternoon. You want to see some progress and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Or I keep regressing. And at times, oh, you know where else people are comfortable at? Failure. A lot of people are comfortable with failure because they're so uncomfortable with change. They're so scared to put in the work, the perceived work to change, that they'll rather sit in their failure and then be upset about it, complain about it, depressed about it. But that's where you're comfortable. That's not growth. That's not growth. People let us say, well, oh, well, I tried. Did you really? Did you really? You tried that workout. You went to the gym once this month. Did you really? Sure, you had a salad, but how much dressing did you put on there? What else did you eat the rest of the day? Did you really try? And we're just being honest, y'all, because we're so used to doing the things that are comfortable. And unfortunately, failure is a source of comfort to some people. But the thing is, they're not consistent enough to even see success. You must say, I tried it once, oh, it didn't work for me. So I'm gonna stay here. So you gotta think about those things. Be honest about what your struggles are. And this is what I'll say. I want you to take a moment and think about what your goals are, what you want to achieve. If you had to do something that was uncomfortable for you, what would it be? Think about that. Because this is what I know. If you have a goal, any type of health and fitness goal, typically you've had it for a while, right? But you're not there right now. Why not? Ask yourself that. Why not? So, whatever that goal is, instead of looking at that goal that looks so far away, right? I want you to say, what do I need to do to get there? And I want you to list them out. And then from that list, I want you to choose one thing to focus on, one habit, one strategy, one tactic. Focus on that and keep doing that. You know what happens? When you keep doing that, you're giving yourself wins. And you're not thinking about that long goal over there. You're thinking about this one thing you said you're going to do. That's it. You're giving yourself small goals so you can get huge wins. And guess what? Each time you achieve that goal, it gets closer and closer to what you said you want to do. Think about what makes you uncomfortable because that's probably the answer. That's the thing. If you've been sitting in, let me know if anybody feels this. Who am I talking to right now? If I'm talking to you, let's say, Crystal, you were talking to me. Let me know if I'm talking to you because we know we want these things. We're so afraid of what it takes to get there. But we know, like, okay, this is probably the thing I need to do to get there. But oh, I'm scared to try it. This is easier, so I'm just gonna keep doing this and hope and wish and pray that it finally works. Guess what, y'all? Hopes and wishes and prayers, don't y'all come for me, but you get what I'm saying. They don't work. What does work is work. Execution, effort. Those are the things that work. But this is the thing. Another thing that holds people back from trying. Remember, I said there's this fear of failure. Before you get started, you're already telling yourself, I probably can't do that. I probably can't. You're talking yourself out of it before you even get into it. So, what I want you to do is to reverse how you're speaking to yourself. Encourage yourself. Speak positivity. Tell yourself that you can do it. Now, oh, let me add this. I want everybody to type this one word, 3 letters in the chat. Okay? Get your fingers ready. Ready? Get to typing with me. I'm going to spell it out. Y E T. Now hit send. Yet. That is the operative word. You struggle with this. You're not able to do this yet. I have not reached my goal yet. I have not been able to run a mile yet. Without that word, we are being too definitive, saying that we can't do. And we're just going to stay in this little comfort zone of failure. But when you tell yourself, not yet, exactly, I'm working on it. I'm going to keep going. You got to challenge yourself. And even with challenging yourself, and it's not just the physical, right? Let's talk about challenging ourselves with the mental and the diet, the nutrition. And this is not just about, oh, I really love me some pizza. Not that, but just the mindset and the struggle of eating more frequently. I have a client, she really struggled to eat more than once or twice a day. It was uncomfortable for her because everything else felt more important. And then when we talked about the science of it and the benefit of eating more frequently, she started getting and started pushing herself, but it was uncomfortable. I have a client who loves buffalo wings, so do I. And it was a struggle for her not to eat the entire order when it came. Order, I believe, of 12 wings. But let's talk about how we can split that and make that 2 meals, right? All of those things are struggle because it was just so easy to just sit there and eat all the things and not think about, oh, I could put something else with this instead. I have a client when we first started working together. She's like, Chris, I can't get on the floor. Encouraged her to try. And guess what? Then she couldn't get on the floor because she has our rheumatoid. But guess what? After a few months, she was like, wait a minute. We're on calls, and I see her going up and down, Florida standing, Florida standing. So you got to challenge yourself. Okay. So speak positivity, give yourself small goals, and tell yourself that you can do it and you will, but you got to try something different. You can't keep doing the same thing because guess what? You're going to get the same results. You want something different, you want something bigger, you got to do something different. It got to be bigger, it got to be uncomfortable. It's going to stretch you because guess what? It's only uncomfortable when you start. After a while, it feels good because it doesn't get easier, you get stronger. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. This morning doing my warm-up run, I decided to do, instead of 5.5, I was like, let me go ahead and go back to 6 like I used to, right? Started out 6, felt good. About 2 minutes in, I was struggling a little bit, like, oh, maybe I should stay at 5.5. And I said, no, stay in it. Stay in the discomfort. Because I could go back down to 5.5 where it's very comfortable. But I want to get strong. And guess what? By 4 minutes into that 6.0, felt good and strong. Forgot I even wanted a 5.5. Ended up running up to 8 today. But you got to push yourself. You got to try. That's the only way you're going to get better and the only way you're going to get stronger. All right? Now, Auntie Crystal is done preaching for the day. Coach Crystal's done. But somebody needs to hear that. And if you need to hear it, let me know in the chat. And if you want to challenge yourself, check the link in the descriptions. Come meet me here in October in Chicago. I promise I'm going to challenge you for a day and a half. 4 workouts, workshops, all the things. It is designed to push you outside of your limits, to show you how strong you really are, so you can stop cheating yourself. Same time to play no more. Ain't time to play no more. So, all right, y'all, I'm out. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And if you go out in these streets, please be safe because I just want you healthy, I want you happy, and I want you here. And I'll see you next time, y'all. Bye. Sorry for being so aggressive, but I mean it. Good. I love it. All right, y'all. Bye.